If you want to hire an assistant, but you're not quite sure how you're going to pay for them, this video is for you. I'm Sylvie McCracken from sylviemccracken.com, and today I want to talk to you about how to hire an assistant that pays for themselves in 30 days. Now, this is for my peeps that have not yet started outsourcing in their business, and I want to share with you the process that I took way back when I started my health and nutrition business, and I was making very little money. Literally, I had made $50 in my business, and I knew that since I had a full-time day job and I wanted to grow this business in my evenings and weekends quickly, that I was going to need to hire help. Now, that might seem insane, and it was definitely a scary step to take, to say, okay, I need to hire someone, I've got $50, what can I do with this? But here is exactly what I did. So first of all, what I did is I started breaking down the steps in my business that I was taking into stuff that I absolutely needed to do myself and things that could be done by someone else. So making that little list and that little distinction, you're going to notice that the list of stuff that you don't need to be doing, that doesn't absolutely require you, is hella long. A lot longer than the stuff that absolutely requires you. So at the time, what I was doing was recipe blog posts. And so I was, developing this recipe in my kitchen, taking the photo, typing up the recipe, putting in affiliate links. That's the only way I had made money so far. I hadn't released any of my ebooks yet. And that's how I was making those 50 measly bucks in my business, was Amazon affiliate links in my recipe blog posts. And I was doing about one a week because I could do that on my weekend, and it took me a while to get it sorted during the week, and then I'd post it and whatnot. So I wrote all of the things that didn't require me. They seemed like little tasks at the time, things like putting in the affiliate links, things like formatting the recipe posts, things like putting the title on top of the image. All of those things didn't require me. At the time, I still wanted to be the one developing the recipe and taking that photo because I was the one in my kitchen, but all of the rest of the stuff didn't need to happen. Now, it might seem like, but that's just 15 minutes worth of stuff. Like, does that even make sense to hire someone? Yes, it does, and let me tell you why. So what I did was I hired someone. She was in the Philippines. She was great. She worked with me for over 2 years, and she was $7 an hour. And I found her at the time on Elance after doing a lot of interviews, and I talk a lot about hiring, so if you're not on my newsletter, make sure you click the button below and jump on there now so that you can learn how to hire and interview and all of that stuff. But let's move on to what I had her do. Basically, I just took a picture of the scribbled notes on a piece of paper in my kitchen that was the recipe that I had finalized after testing, and I sent her the photo of the recipe, of the final recipe, and she would take it from there. Now, of course, I used the systems and standards of procedures that I talk about. If you haven't read it, I'll link to those blog posts below. But basically from there, she would take it. So she would format that into WordPress. She would make the Amazon affiliate links and put them in. She would put the title on the photo. She would order the recipe ingredients like I had told her, from the largest quantity to the smallest quantity. She'd put that in bullets. She'd put the directions in. She'd number them, etc., etc. So what did that translate to? How did that help me? Well, it made my life so much easier that I basically didn't even need to log into WordPress. So that meant that instead of one recipe per week, I could post 3. So all of a sudden, it tripled my content producing abilities, which at the time was the way I was making money. I was making, cents through Amazon. And, and I had her working 5 hours a week at a certain point because we started increasing what we were doing. Then she was scheduling it onto Facebook, pinning it, sharing with other bloggers, that kind of thing. I started increasing her hours and duties till we were working 5 hours per week. It was costing me very little money, and by the end of that first month, in that extra Amazon affiliate income, because we had so many more blog posts and we were increasing our traffic and therefore increasing our clicks and this and that and the other, she paid for herself. The reason I'm giving you this very simple example is because I wanted to make a video for those of you that are just starting out, that are making very little money in your business. Now, of course, it's gotten a whole heck of a lot more complicated for my business since then, and now that I'm running 2 different businesses, but that's a really clear example of how you need to start hiring right now. And the whole I can't afford it thing, that's a whole other topic. I'll link to that whole blog post below as well. but this is a way that you can afford it. Within that first 30 days, if you're making more than 50 bucks, you can afford it. There are systems like this, there are processes like this in your business. And if you think it won't work for you, I'd actually love to hear from you in the comments because I'm sure we can figure it out. In the meantime, if you'd love to share this video, please do so. I would really appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.